The hall was filled with laughter and mockery. Dozens of alien cadets sneered as the lone human girl stepped toward the ancient war scanner. To them, she was fragile, insignificant, a species barely worth a footnote in galactic history. But when her hand touched the relic, the laughter died. The scanner shrieked in red. The record didn't show battles won or soldiers defeated. No. It logged something far darker. Worlds erased. Entire civilizations gone. Humanity's legacy wasn't victory. It was extinction. If this story already has your pulse racing, you'll want to stick around. Humanity's reputation in this universe is unlike anything you've ever imagined. So before we dive deeper, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button if you're enjoying these HFY stories. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and share it with a friend who loves epic sci-fi. All right, let's break down this story step by step. The Galactic Military Academy's orientation hall thundered with energy. 17 species had gathered, each one armored in pride, history, and the weight of their ancestors. The air shimmered with anticipation. In the middle of it all, Bella stood quietly, small, human. Her frame seemed almost swallowed by the towering reptilian Corythians and the insectoid Vex cadets, who clicked their mandibles in smug laughter. "Tell me, Softkin," hissed Threx, a purple-scaled cadet with eyes that glowed like molten iron. His forked tongue flicked with amusement. "How many enemies has your kind defeated in honorable combat?" Snickers rippled through the hall. Another cadet whispered loudly, "Maybe 10, if they count their own little tribal wars." Bella didn't answer. She kept her gray eyes fixed on the massive device at the center of the chamber. The War Chronicle Scanner, an ancient relic said to reveal the combat legacy of every species. The others saw it as a chance for glory. She saw it as a trial. Her silence only fueled their mockery. But there was something in her gaze, something old, heavy, weathered, that made even the boldest taunts falter for a moment. And then, the instructor's voice cut through the noise. "Cadet Bella, human delegation, step forward." One by one, the alien cadets had placed their hands on the ancient relic. Each time, the scanner hummed and projected shimmering holograms, victories counted, enemies defeated, worlds conquered. The Corythian cadet boasted 12,000 enemies slain across 2 centuries. The Vex, with their endless hive wars, filled the hall with numbers so high the crowd erupted in cheers. Every scan was a celebration of blood and conquest, warriors recognizing warriors, and then silence. Bella walked toward the scanner. Each step echoed louder than the last. The laughter had faded into whispers, sharp and cutting. What will the humans show? 10, 20. Perhaps they'll list their own moon as a conquest. Even Threx's voice wavered now, though his grin remained. Bella paused, hand hovering over the relic. Instructor Vorl's gravelly tone cut through the tension. "Place your hand, cadet. Let us see the truth of your people." She obeyed. Her fingertips brushed the device. Instantly, the hall drowned in crimson. The scanner shrieked like a wounded beast. Warning sirens wailed as red light flooded the chamber. Cadets clutched their ears, and then the display appeared. Not numbers of soldiers defeated, not battles won. The holographic text glared across the chamber, jagged red against the air. At first, the cadets thought it was a malfunction, but then the words scrolled, clear and undeniable. Species, human. Combat classification, extinction tier. Gasps rippled through the hall. Where every other race had tallies of warriors slain and victories counted, the human record was chillingly different. Enemies defeated in combat, 0. Enemy homeworlds erased, 3. Civilizations lost, 3. Total population. Exterminated, 47 billion. The silence was suffocating. Threx's purple scales paled to gray. Impossible! This must be broken. But the relic wasn't broken. It screamed louder, unraveling humanity's doctrine for all to see. If a species declares war, they have chosen extinction. No battles fought, no armies challenged, entire planets cracked open, atmospheres ignited, populations turned to ash. Instructor Vorl's many eyes widened as the familiar names scrolled past. The Zenthari Dominion, wiped out in a week, 11 billion gone. The Kelrath Hierarchy, 19 billion dead, cities flattened by redirected asteroids. The Vorath Empire, 17 billion incinerated in a planetary firestorm. Bella stood unmoving, her hand still on the scanner. But when she finally spoke, her voice was steady, cold, and heartbreakingly hollow. The crimson glow faded, leaving only the echo of silence. Every cadet stared at Bella, their expressions twisted between disbelief and terror. Even the boastful Vex warriors had fallen silent, mandibles clicking nervously. They don't fight, Instructor Vorl whispered, his voice almost reverent. Humans don't seek victory. They seek extinction. Bella pulled her hand from the scanner. Her gray eyes swept across the chamber, meeting every frightened gaze. We tried counting enemies once, she said softly. We tried honor. We tried mercy. Her words cut sharper than any blade. Every time we showed restraint, they called us weak. Every time we fought fair, we bled for it. So we changed. We stopped fighting wars. We ended them. Entirely. A shiver passed through the crowd. Threx, who had mocked her earlier, couldn't meet her stare. His tongue flickered nervously, no longer in amusement, but in fear. The Confederation made us promise, Bella continued. Promise that we'd never use our doctrine on council species, that we'd learn your ways. Limited war, rules, honor. She glanced back at the scanner, its red glow still haunting the room. That's why I'm here, to learn how to fight without erasing. The orientation ended, but no one cheered. The cadets filed out in uneasy silence, their proud shoulders bent under the weight of what they'd seen. For them, this was no longer just an academy test. It was a glimpse into the abyss of human war. Kat, the crystalline Ardelian who had watched quietly from the start, approached Bella outside the hall. The stars burned bright above, distant and cold. Why agree to their terms? He asked carefully. Why bind yourselves to fight less, effectively? Bella gave him a tired smile, one that held centuries of grief she shouldn't have carried at her age. Because we're tired of being executioners, she whispered. We want to be better. We need to be better. Her gaze lifted skyward. Even if it means everyone will always fear what we were. Kat said nothing. He knew this moment would haunt him for the rest of his life. That day, he realized humanity's greatest warriors weren't the ones who erased civilizations, but the ones who chose restraint when their very nature screamed otherwise. And somewhere deep inside, every cadet understood. The galaxy didn't protect humans. It was terrified of what would happen if it didn't.